Hi, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to do this Eternally Yours bracelet featuring some 4mm Potomac Crystal Bicones. This bracelet could change so much with different color varieties that you can choose by clicking the links below the video in the description to get to our site. Gather up your materials and let's get started. So to begin our design, I have 1, 2, and 3 colors of 4mm bicones along with 15 seed beads. I'll add my clasp after the fact, so I've used a size 10 English beading needle, and I have it on some size 8 DragonThread and a stop bead at the end. You want to leave enough thread at the end to go back and put on your clasp after the fact. So how we're going to begin is we are going to begin with a right angle weave section and then progress from there. To begin our right angle weave section, go ahead and grab 115, followed by an emerald, 15, one of my fuchsias, 15, emerald, 15, fuchsia. So I have a series here of 4 of my bicones on, and I have them on in a series with 15 O's before all of them. We're going to create a right angle weave unit going back through the first 15 and 4mm bicone, and then continuing to come out through the secondary bicone. Instead of going right over there and coming out the secondary bicone, what we're going to do is we are going to get nice and close here, and we are going to make a crisscross pattern. To make the crisscross pattern, we're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of our 15 O's. The thread is currently coming out the top of the left-hand side of this right angle unit. We're going to go into the bottom of the right side of the right angle unit. This is going to lay those seed beads right over the top there. I'm going to grab 2 more seed beads and we're going to create an X pattern. Grab 2 seed beads. Sew down through the middle bead of that group of 5. So you're sewing down through bead number 3. Give a nice tight pull with your thread to kind of tighten it up. Grab 2 more 15s and sew once again through that emerald bead on the right hand side or the left hand side, going from the bottom to the top. Once you do this, you can see it makes that nice X formation. We're going to get all the way over now to the right-hand side of our right angle unit. To do so, go through that 15 O, go through the 4mm bicone, all the way over till you're coming out through the bicone that's on the right-hand side. So through the next 15, through the right bicone. As you exit the right bicone there, that's your first unit where you have the X on top. From here, we're going to go in and create our O's. So our O's are going to be created with more of our 4mm bicones. Once you're coming out of the bottom side of that first right-hand X unit, you can see here, we're going to do our little O unit. To do so, I want you to put it in your needle, the 6 seed beads that are going on the side plus the connector one. So you have the olivine, fuchsia, olivine, emerald, olivine, fuchsia, olivine. And this is going to be separated out with a 15 O before and after each bead. So it starts with a 15 and it ends with a 15. We're then going to bring our thread and needle back through the emerald bead of that right-hand unit that our thread was originally coming out of. It's coming out of the bottom. We add all of those beads going into the top and once again coming out the bottom. And see how you're getting that patterned O style. From here, we want the O to keep its shape. So to do so, go ahead and go through, back through the 15 and out after that first one of the olivine. Give a tight little pull. Grab 2 15s and into your fuchsia bead. After doing this, exiting your fuchsia, grab 2 more 15s, go into the olivine, 15, emerald, 15, olivine, and out. When you're out, once again, you're going to put on 2 15s and sew into the next pink fuchsia bead. So we're skipping over that 15-0 that sits between the fuchsia and the olivine from the first row around. And these two kind of tuck to the outside. 2 more 15s go on, skip over the 15 that's already there, go through the olivine and your emerald all the way around. Now we need to get out this right angle weave unit. So you may not be familiar with right angle weave, and that's totally fine. You can keep doing this bracelet. But we want to get to the very right-hand side of our unit, always with right angle weave. So we're going to want our thread and needle always coming out that right-hand side bead, which in this bracelet case is always going to be that emerald bead. So here I'm going to go back through all the beads along the side here, going through the olivine, the 115, then moving my needle through my fuchsia bead as well. After you come out your fuchsia bead, get your thread and needle going through your beads, all the way through the thread line and out through that emerald on the right. Once you're out through the emerald on the right here, then we're going back into doing our right angle weave. X marks the spot. 15, fuchsia, 15, emerald, 15, fuchsia, 15. So you have your 3 beads on, 15 on either side. You're coming out the top of that emerald bead. You're going to sew into the bottom of that same emerald bead. From here then, we're going to do that crisscross. And you can see then it's just the exact same pattern over and over. 5 15s go on. I'm coming up the top of that 4mm bead. I'm going to bring my thread and needle across this square unit there. And I'm going to go into the bottom of the emerald that sits to the right. Up through the top then with your thread and needle. When you're exiting through the top, add 1, 2 more 15s. So back through the middle bead of that grouping of 5 at bead number 3. Add 2 more 15s onto your thread and needle. So into that same emerald bead that your thread was originally coming out of from the bottom towards the top. And make those 15 O's sit to the top of the design in that nice X pattern. From here, sew through the 15, the 4mm in the fuchsia, the 15, and once again, exiting through the emerald bead. From here on out, it's just the same repetitive thing over and over again as you gain length and add this XO pattern. And we're calling this the Eternally Yours because we already have an XO pattern. We already have a Hugs and Kisses. And I figure Eternally Yours is that XO effect. So to finish up our bracelet, we are going to be attaching our clasp. I've already gone back to the beginning side and taking off my stop bead and attached one side of my endless clasp. All you do with this is dab a little bit of glue on, enter your cab, glue it together. And I love that this has that green and pink of almost this watermelon version that I'm working on. So on the opposite side, after coming out of your last little X there, what you're going to do is just like we would get ready to do our next design, except we are adding 3 seed beads, making sure that you're picking up through the little loop here, which is a solder loop, which is awesome. And because this bracelet does have a top and a bottom, the X's are to the top, open on the bottom, you want to make sure that your clasp is facing up. So when your bracelet is on, your clasp sits to the top. Same with your little tongue here. You want to make sure that when it goes in to the clasp, that it is going through the right area. Add 3 more beads after that tongue. Come back down through that same last bicone. We're going to reinforce that 3 times, going through the seed beads, the clasp, down through the other side. If you want to, you can use a wire guard, you can use a clasp guarding clasp, you can use a lobster clasp or a toggle. Anything can be used. Again, I can't wait to see all the different color varieties of this bracelet on our Facebook group. All right, so after you have 3 in there, we're going to go down through the side of the bracelet and we're going to get rid of our thread and needle. So to get rid of our thread and needle, I'm going back a component so that way I'm not right at the end going through here. And as I go back through here, I'm going to go over to the side and I'm going to do a little sewer's knot to get rid of the thread. We're going to tuck underneath a bridge thread, which is a thread that connects one bead to another. So I'm tucking underneath the thread there next to the pink bead. And we're going to go before that 15-0, sew through the loop that you just created once, sew through that loop twice. And what that does is it twists the thread around itself and goes right in for a nice little tight pulled knot there. Pulling that tight knot, I'm going to sew up to the project a little bit more. Coming out right next to the green bead there, I'm going to take my thread burner or my thread zap. I did the same exact thing on the other side. Burn down that thread towards the end of the bracelet, and then go in and burn down the end of the thread right flat towards the design to finish up this Eternally Yours bracelet. I called it that again because of kind of that XO pattern that you're looking at over and over. I would love to see this in black and white and silver and really kind of seeing those play on colors for all of the different designs when you're looking at it. And have fun going in and creating those X's and those O's with your bicones. Change it out for some rounds and watch it sparkle. Thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to see all the different color varieties that you can post your examples of in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. If you haven't asked for membership there, please do so. We love expanding this community and we want to hear from you. Remember also, if you need any materials, look below the video in the description. We put links there to get you back to our site so you can see all the color options that you can do for this bracelet. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you can not miss any of our inspirational tutorials that we do here for you at Potomac Beads.